And a very good Tuesday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again, the Yoda Pain Podcast. Tuesday, it is May the 11th. No, May 13th. I'm sorry. I'm off. May 13th, 2025. The Joe Benigno Pain Podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by the Need a Discount Tire, and of course by Manscaped. So we look back at the NBA regular season, right? All we heard all regular season, well, the Knicks can't beat anybody good. You know, they were 0-4 against the Celtics, got killed in 3 of the games. They were 0-4 against Cleveland, got killed in 3 of the games. They couldn't beat Oklahoma City. They couldn't beat any good teams. So naturally, you know, when we got into the collision course, because let's be honest, pretty much since early January, the Knicks have been locked into the 3 seed. We're locked into the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. And it was becoming very evident that at some point, if the Knicks got through round 1 of the playoffs, that they would play Boston in the second round. It was pretty much locked in. And we heard different people saying, well, maybe they'd be better off dropping to the 4 spot. This, bless you, here come the sneezes, locked into the 4 spot, and, you know, better off playing the Cavaliers in the second round than the Celtics. And we heard all that kind of crap, right? Well, here we are in the playoffs, and the New York Knickerbockers are 1 win away. My wife's going to sneeze a few times, so get used to it. The New York Knickerbockers are 1 win away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000. Think about that. As they knocked the Celtics off last night, 121-113 at the Garden, take a 3-1 lead in this in the best of 7 series. You know, all we heard, every freaking writer there was, nobody picked the Knicks to win this series. Absolutely nobody. And, you know, most people had the Knicks going out in 5, you know, a gentleman's sweep. Well, right now, maybe the Knicks are going to be the one that are going to give the Celtics the gentleman's sweep. What a night it was at the Garden last night, in front of course, so many great Knicks fans like Sting and Kylie Jenner, all those big Knicks fans over all the years, right? All of them. Oh, they were all there. But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. But it was good seeing all the former Knicks there last night. That we love, no doubt about that. But what a game this was. The Knicks were down 14 again. You thought, here we go again. They were down 14 early in the game. The Celtics are making all these crazy threes. Jason Tatum is throwing shots out of his rear end. Derek White couldn't miss early on. The Knicks were down 11 at halftime, and you're like, hey, well, you know, here we go. Maybe we're not going to win another game here. And then the third quarter happened, and Jalen Brunson took over, scored 18 points in the third quarter, just really turned the game around. What can you say? The Knicks outscored him, by 19 points in the second half? How good was that? And big games by everybody. Brunson with 39 and 12 assists. Mikal Bridges, how many big shots did he make in the fourth quarter? He had 23. Anunoby wound up with 20. How about that monster dunk on really the play of the night, as it really turns out, where Jason Tatum winds up, and it looks like he tore his Achilles. Now, we're not going to find out until today what exactly happened to Tatum, who had an unbelievable game. He had 42 points. He was hitting crazy shots, crazy threes all over the place. And that play where, you know, Anunoby was going for a steal, Tatum tried to, you know, stop Anunoby, and he goes down. Anunoby goes coast to coast for a big slam dunk to put the Knicks up 9. That was the moment you really felt, hey, we're winning this basketball game here tonight. Tatum got carted off. We'll find out later on today if he's going to be able to play tomorrow night in Game 5. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. The Knicks were winning this game last night, whether or not Tatum wound up going out of the game late or not. It really didn't matter. But what a performance by everybody. Anunoby wound up with 20. Karl Anthony Towns, 23 points, 11 rebounds, had a lot of big moments in this game. Mitchell Robinson was huge off the bench. Isn't it interesting? Mitchell Robinson did not go to the foul line last night. As a matter of fact, the Knicks didn't shoot a free throw until basically the last 2 minutes of the first half. The officiating in this basketball game was unbelievably brutal. If you watched this game last night, you tell me that the NBA doesn't want Boston to win this series. Give me a freaking break. How many terrible calls went against the Knicks last night? I mean, it's unbelievable. How many times did Karl Anthony Towns go to the basket and get hammered? There was one sequence when Towns goes to the basket, makes the shot, looks like it's going to be an end one, and they call an offensive foul on him. You got to be kidding. And I couldn't believe that Thibodeau did not challenge that call because it was absolutely brutal. There was another call later on where Tatum clearly double dribbled, and they didn't call that one. That's that guy, Scott Foster. He's terrible. Believe me, the league wants the Celtics to win this series, but you know what? The league may not get what they want. How about that? Too freaking bad. Boy, oh boy. You know, I got to say this about boy. And I know they won the championship last year and all of that. But this team lives and dies by the three-point shot. That's all they want to do is chuck up threes. That's it. And I'm sorry. You know, maybe they won a title doing that last year. They did. I don't know why you can't take it away from them. But that's not sustainable. Keep chucking threes. Eventually, you're going to start missing them. And, you know, look, Tatum was hitting crazy shots all night long. Like I said, he had a phenomenal game. He had 42 points before the injury. And like I said, we'll see if he plays or not tomorrow night. It didn't look very good as he was in a wheelchair. They had to carry him basically off the court and all that. But what a performance by the night. I can't say enough. You can't say enough. They had to overcome the Celtics and the officiating and still won the game going away by 8 points. Jalen Brunson, like I said, I've said this before, he's halfway to the ceiling. He's not there yet. He's got a ways to go. Nice to see maybe win a championship would help, but he's halfway to the ceiling. Probably the greatest free agent signing the Knicks have ever had. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. Nobody thought this guy was going to turn out to be the player that he's turning out to be. You just can't. I can't say enough about Brunson. And I want to get back to Mitchell Robinson, who last night did not take a free throw last night, but how big was he in this game? He had 4 points. He had 8 rebounds. How many times did he affect shots under the basket? How many big offensive rebounds did Mitchell Robinson have in this basketball game? He played 25 minutes. He was huge. Even Deuce McBride off the bench had a couple big threes in this game as well, for the Knicks last night. I mean, this was a total team effort led by Brunson. And right now, I mean, here they are, up 3-1. And it really would behoove them, especially if Tatum's out, it really would behoove them to finish this team off Wednesday night in Boston in front of all the heathens up there. How great would that be? The Knicks have not lost a road game yet. They're 5-0 on the road in the playoffs. And we really didn't see this toughness. The Knicks are playing. They're showing a lot of toughness, not only in this series, but I think the Pistons series, and, as difficult, as physical, and as, tough, an old school playoff series from the old days as it was against Detroit, really has hardened this Knicks team coming into this series. And I think the other thing, too, was the Knicks came into this series and all they heard, right? Let's be real about it, guys. All they heard, they can't win. They haven't, like I said, they haven't early in the beginning of the show here. They haven't beaten any good teams all year. The Celtics have dominated them. They have no chance to win, and on and on and on. And here they are. And they heard all the noise, and here they are. The 2 unbelievable wins in Boston. They bounced back from getting just their doors blown off in Game 3, where the Celtics couldn't miss a shot, went 20 for 40 from 3-point range in that game. I mean, you got a smile on your face all over the place right now if you're a fan of the New York Knickerbockers. And we're waiting a long time, Knick fans, for a game like last night, right? Think about it. A long, long, long freaking time for a game like last night. Just unbelievable. And they got to get it done now. Now they got to get it done. And you know what? Not only do they got to get it done, they go on and win this series, go win the goddamn championship. Right? Think about it. We're all going crazy because they're beating the Celtics here like they are. And there's nothing sweeter than sticking it up the ass of the Celtics, right? Celtic City, that HBO special made you want to vomit, right? I got to the point, I was watching it, and I got great respect. Look, I grew up watching the Russell Celtics. You know how much I hated them. I mean, I couldn't stand them. Russell, Hondo, the Jones brothers, Tommy Heinsohn, Bob Cousy, Don Nelson. We could go on and on. I mean, I hate the hatred. It can't. I can't. You can't say it enough. I can't express enough. Red Auerbach, how much couldn't you stand him? 11 championships in 13 years, right? Right? And then Dave Cowens and JoJo White and Don Chaney and Paul Silas and Heinsohn is the coach. How much couldn't you stand them? And then Bird and McHale and Parrish and DJ and Ainge and all of that garbage. And the 3 championships they won in the 80s, right? And then the Garnett, Pierce Allen group, right? All of them. And that is group that won last year. How much do you hate the freaking Boston Celtics? Boy, oh boy. Let's finish them off. Let's get them the hell out of here. Let's make the NBA cry a little bit. I'm sure, what's his name? Adam Silver is sitting there. They're all crying. Geez, how can we find a way to make sure Boston comes back and wins this series, right? How much can we skew the calls to help them this time? Well, you tried like hell last night, and the Knicks still won the game. And they still won the game. How about that? Just a great all-around. I can't say enough. I'm watching this game last night. We're going delirious. I'm getting calls all over the place. Mikey and Yonkers, he couldn't sleep last night. Kenny Scarabaggio, he's going nuts, going crazy. Funny with Kenny, we're watching, he's texting me all night during the game, right? He's killing Karl Anthony Towns, right? He's killing him. Get Mitchell Robinson off the floor. What's Thibodeau doing? Really? Come on. And all these people, and I know the series isn't over yet. We could, all the Knicks can do now if they don't win it is blow the series, right? I mean, that's all they can do. They got a 3-1 lead here. And I'm sure it's not going to be easy to close this team out Wednesday night in Boston, And God knows, they can lose at home. And they're 2-3 so far at home in the playoffs. But all this crap about Tom Thibodeau, he plays his players too long, right? He's going to burn his team out. Well, first of all, Nick bench is not very good. I mean, the one area that the Knicks, I really think, no matter how this plays out, how this season finally ends, one way or the other, okay? Hopefully it ends with us at the Canyon of Heroes. Wouldn't that be unbelievable? 52 years since they won a freaking championship. But, be that as it may, Tom Thibodeau, I'm tired of hearing how people want to get rid of this guy, okay? This is one of the best coaches we ever had, all right? Maybe he's not Red Holtzman. Maybe he's not Pat Riley, okay? Maybe he's not even Jeff Van Gundy, or I think I would probably, even though Van Gundy got his team to the finals, and had a couple deep runs in the playoffs under Van Gundy and all of that, you know what? Thibodeau's done an unbelievable job. This franchise was in the abyss for over 20 years. They were a laughing stock, right? Right? They were the worst run franchise in sports. People love to come here and stick it to the Knicks, right? Stick it up their rear end. All right, all of that, right? Kobe Bryant coming in and killing them. LeBron, who couldn't wait to go to Miami. He didn't have the balls to come to the Knicks. He loves to come in and kill them. That clown Porzingis, right? Okay, right? And I got to hear Mike Breen. And I love Mike Breen. Mike, I love you, but give me your freaking break, okay? He's talking about how, when Porzingis first left the Knicks, the crowd would boo him every time he touched the ball. I don't understand why they're not doing that now, right? And then Breen goes on, but he was a good Knick. And no, he couldn't wait to get the hell out, Mike. He couldn't wait to get the hell out of New York. Him and his brother, who was his agent, and they were greasing the skids to get out of New York as fast as possible. Who are you freaking kidding? Breen also made the comment the other day when Mitchell Robinson was shooting air balls at the foul line. Breen also made, as they panned to a picture of Patrick Ewing, and he says Patrick Ewing was a great foul shooter. No, he wasn't. Patrick Ewing was not. I love you, Pat. I love Patrick. He was not a great foul shooter. How many big free throws? And it wasn't just Ewing, but how many big free throws did Ewing miss in the playoffs over the years? Tell me. All right? How about the 15 they missed in the Charles Smith Memorial game against the Bulls? How about that? I don't know. How many did he miss in that game? Yeah, he was an okay foul shooter. He probably shot 70% for his career, maybe a little more than that. But don't give me this nonsense that he was suddenly, Rick Barry or Reggie Miller on a freaking foul line. Okay? Mike, give me a break. Unbelievable. I mean, there's actually real Knicks fans that are watching this that know better. Okay, you're not just you're not calling the game for the frauds that are in the stands. All right, I mean, the frauds that are pricing. And what was the cheapest seat last night? Like 9 something for this game, $600 for this game. Yeah, they want the real Knicks fans there. Give me a break. But anyway, I digress. I have to because it makes me crazy. It really does. But I'm tired of hearing the complaining about Tom Thibodeau. This guy's one of the best coaches we ever had. This team now, he's taken the Knicks to the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years. This is their 3rd straight year in the second round, and they're 1 win away from advancing to the conference finals, where it looks like they're going to play the Indiana Pacers again, which would just, think about that. And Indiana's giving them trouble. Indiana, let me see how many times they played them in the play. Certainly the last 2 times they played them in the playoffs. Actually, the last 3 times the Knicks have played Indiana in the playoffs, they've lost. Going back to the conference finals in 2000 when the Pacers beat them in 6. And then, of course, in 2013, when the 54-win year with Carmelo, they beat the Knicks in the second round in 6 in that series. And then, of course, last year, coming in and beating the Knicks in Game 7 at the Garden when Indiana couldn't miss a shot in that 7th game. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Indiana still got to close out Cleveland. The Knicks still got to close out the Celtics. But right now, if you're a Knicks fan, you are thrilled. There's no other way to say it. You're sitting here with the biggest smile you could have on your face. I'm loving every second of this. And let's finish them off. Let's stick it right. Let's get one of those leprechauns and stick it right up its ass. Okay? And finish them off in freaking Boston. Oh, my God. Celtic City, my ass. Unbelievable. One more to go to eliminate the defending world champions. I think the Celtics just chucked up another 3. And we'll find out sometime later on today about Jason Tatum. And it did not look good. I got to say. Now, you never know. Shoot him up with a little cortisone. Maybe he's out there. You never know what's going to happen when a guy gets injured. But it certainly did not look very good. But what a great night last night. Just tremendous. 3 games to 1 lead, 121-113. Everybody contributing last night for this basketball team, led by the great Jalen Brunson. And let's close it out on Wednesday. Really no other way to say it. Really no other way to say it. All right, Benigno on the Oda Pain podcast. All right, quickly, our sponsors. You know about the Hackensack Brewing Company. We'll let you know the next live podcast, probably sometime in July when the weather really gets good. That'll be the next one. We'll let you know exactly what the date's going to be. Now, if you need work done on your car, you know where you got to go. You got to go to Anita Discount Tire in Rivervale, New Jersey, Westwood Avenue. See my son Johnny, see Harry, see Rob, see everybody over there. Whatever you need tires, you need your car inspected, whatever work you need done automotively, they're the place to go. Tell them I sent you, and they will certainly take care of you. Anita Discount Tire, Rivervale, New Jersey, Westwood Avenue. Any kind of thing you need done with your car, that's where you need to go. See Johnny. They'll all take care of you over there. And, of course, our good friends at Manscaped. Now, as we've been talking about, Father's Day is coming up, one of my favorite days of the year. Look to play golf, U.S. Open, all of that going on. And it's just around the corner. And if you're still considering giving the old man the same old tie or socks or, the underwear that doesn't fit him, it's time to rethink your gift game and go above and beyond. The Handyman Rocket Man by Manscaped, the ultimate grooming tool. He didn't even know he needed. Who knew it? But he's absolutely going to love it, whether he's keeping his beard sharp or rocking a clean-shaven look. Or you could be like me, a little mustache and clean-shaven after that and all of it. The Handyman Rocket Man has him covered. It's got it all. The compact powerhouse is designed for precision, ensuring your face stays smooth, fresh, just like that well-timed dad joke of his. And I'm not a big jokester. I can be very funny, but I don't really tell jokes. Like I said, why did the chicken cross the road? Join the over 12 million men who trust Manscaped and give dad the gift of a smooth, fresh face this Father's Day. Use the code PAIN, 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. Not a lot of pain last night between the Knicks and the Mets. Mets with a walk-off win over Pittsburgh. So a very good night. You're a Met fan right now. I'm just, you just got a smile on your face all over the place. But check it out. Look, and you know the deal with Manscaped. Not only the Handyman Rocket Man Father's Day special, check out the Lawnmower Ultra 5.0 to take care of business down below, give you that look of the extra inches. Check out the Manscaped shampoo and conditioner. You also can use it as a body wash. I love every second of it. It's absolutely tremendous. I smell good. I look good. Oh, my God, it's hard for me to look good. And then don't forget the underwear. I love the Manscaped underwear. It's great for golf. Keeps your balls where they need to be. The only balls you want out of the golf balls. So check out Manscaped. And again, as I always say, get your dad the gift he's actually going to use. The Handyman Rocket Man, the perfect Father's Day gift. You know the deal. And use the code PAIN, okay? PAIN for 50% off your entire order. Check it out. You can head over to manscaped.com to check everything out. Don't wait for Father's Day to roll around. Get him the gift he's actually going to use and appreciate. The Manscaped, the Handyman Rocket Man. And don't forget, again, 15% off when you use the code PAIN. Now, a couple other things. Number one, last night was the draft lottery in the NBA, okay? The Dallas Mavericks, who had like a 1% chance of winning the lottery, won the lottery. Now, I look at this and I say, oh, okay, so let's see. So the Dallas Mavericks during the year traded their best player, Luka Doncic, to the Lakers, right? Right? I know it's for Anthony Davis. It doesn't matter who they got in the trade. But they traded, and then, of course, the Lakers are long gone as they got whacked by Minnesota, got knocked out in 5 games in the first round. It really makes you want to cry, doesn't it? Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah, too bad for poor LeBron, right? Anyway, don't get me started on that. But so the Mavericks win the draft lottery. You can't tell me that this was not payback for the Doncic trade, right? Think about that. Okay, they lost Luka, so because you traded Luka, and the league probably wanted this to happen because let's be honest, the one thing the NBA wants, and if you think this is not the case, you're out of your mind. The one thing the NBA wants for sure is the Lakers to always be good. All right? You think the Lakers would ever have 20 years in the abyss like the Knicks? No freaking shot. They always want the Lakers to be good. The Lakers have gotten every big player that there ever was, from Wilt Chamberlain to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to James Worthy to Magic Johnson to Kobe Bryant to Pau Gasol. Right, we could go right on down the line, right? Every great player that basically there's ever been has LeBron now has somehow wound up in L.A. The league wants the Lakers to be good. And if you don't think that, then, like I said, you really haven't been paying attention. As I said, you'll never see a 20-year period where the Lakers stink. That's never, ever going to happen. So to me, this was the payback to Dallas for trading Doncic to the Lakers. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. Oh, yeah, of course, it's always, the lottery is always on the up and up. And answer me this, how is it possible, okay, that the crummy, woebegone Brooklyn Nets, all right, that nobody really gives a damn about, like 95% of the basketball fans in New York are Knicks fans. I mean, 95%. It's not like the 2 baseball teams where it's kind of split, or the 2 football teams, it's kind of split, even though it's more Yankee and Giants. Still, there's almost half of the population are Jet fans or Met fans, and a lot more Met fans today as the Met fans continue to be the Mets continue to be, phenomenal. Plenty of fraud Met fans showing up these days too. But anyway, be that as it may. So the Nets get the eighth pick in the draft. What? Huh. You talk about a franchise that gets pissed on constantly, it's the Brooklyn Nets. Now, there's rumors about Brooklyn getting Giannis from Milwaukee. They're going to trade him. Please. And we all know how it worked out with Durant and Kyrie and James Harden. And we all know how it worked out with the Nets with Garnett and Pierce and all that. Didn't work out very freaking good. I think they won 1 playoff series with Garnett and Pierce up in Toronto I remember my great former partner, Evan Roberts, who probably is crying right now, not only that the Knicks are where they are, but that his team got hosed with the 8th pick in the draft, and I don't blame him. Watching Dallas with a 1% chance win the lottery. I'm telling you, that was payback for the Doncic trade so they could wind up with Cooper Flag and get themselves back on track again as fast as possible. If you think that stuff isn't happening in the NBA, think again, okay? Think again. But anyway, so I feel bad for the Nets. I feel bad for my former partner. 8th pick in the draft. I mean, the Nets stunk. What were their chances of winning a lot? I don't know what the number was for them. But it had to be a lot better than it was for the Dallas Mavericks. I can tell you that. I don't know if you're going to be able to find that. So I wouldn't be looking it up. No. It had to be a lot better than it was for the Dallas freaking Mavericks, right? That only had a 1% chance, but they won the lottery, right? How about the Knicks? I know we all know that the 1985 first lottery ever for Ewing was fixed. I mean, I'll be the first, and I'm a Knicks fan. I'll be the first guy ever to tell you that they fixed it for the Knicks. And ever since then, and all those championships that we never won with Patrick, I still love you, right? And let's be honest about it, right? Ever since then, in all the lotteries the Knicks have been in, not only did they never win the lottery again, they didn't even move up in the lottery from where they were projected to be. Well, how? Because the league hates them. The league don't really live. Here's what the NBA cares about with the Knicks: that the Garden is full, that the celebrities are all there to be seen, from Spike Lee to Ben Stiller, to Sting, to Kylie Jenner, to Tina Fey, to all these freaking people, right? Steve Sharippa and all the freaking, Spike, obviously, and all the celebrities that show up. That's all they give a damn about. Oh, look at all the celebrities here at the Garden as the Knicks continue to suck. Right? Please. I'm loving every second of this. Because not only are the Knicks right now beating the Celtics, but they're beating the NBA too. And I love every freaking second of it. Now, it'd be nice if the Knicks would have white at home. I was not thrilled that they would have blue last night at the Garden, which should never be. But, this is the new NBA. You know what I mean? Where, coaches, instead of dressing in Armani suits like Pat Riley and Chuck Daly and Isaiah Thomas, now they dress in like their pajamas on the freaking sideline. That's the NBA anymore with the coaches. God forbid a guy puts a suit on. But anyway, be that as it may. I'm digressing here. But it just goes to show. And they hosed the Brooklyn Nets again last night because the league doesn't want the Brooklyn Nets ever to be good. They don't want them to be good. They want them to be perpetual shit, okay? So, Evan, I feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you that my basketball team is sticking it to the Celtics. I know you hate the Celtics too, but, we know you don't love the Knicks at all. I know it's killing you that the Knicks are doing what they're doing. But it's got to be killing you even more that the Dallas freaking Mavericks, with a 1% chance to win the lottery, win it, and your team gets the 8th pick. What a disgrace. No, it's a freaking disgrace. There's no other way to say it. It's a freaking disgrace. Oh, my God. I feel bad for you, Ev. I really do. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But anyway, so the Knicks will try to wrap it up tomorrow night. Let's get it done. We'll find out today about Tatum and what his status is. Let's finish these bastards off tomorrow night in Boston. 3-1 lead. Unbelievable. And you know what else it shows you? Okay, really. The 82-game regular NBA season really means nothing. It really does. All it is about seeding. That's all it is. Where will you be seeded in the playoffs or making the playoffs? That's all that matters. The 4 losses to Boston, do you think that means anything at this point with the Knicks sitting there with a 3-run lead against the Celtics? Right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, who had the best record in the East. I'm not sure if they had a better record in Oklahoma City or not. I'm not sure. But had the best record in the East, right? All year. And look at them. They're down 3-1 to the Indiana Pacers now. I think Game 5 is tonight. I think Game 5 is tonight. And again, it just shows you the regular season means nothing in the NBA. Absolute. All it is for seeding. That's it. So let's close them out tomorrow night. Let's get it done, and let's move on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 20, think about this, guys, 25 freaking years. Unbelievable. And 52, okay? 52 years without an NBA title. Most of these Knicks fans that were at the game last night, well, most of them don't, all they know about the Knicks is that they play basketball. Weren't even born for this. Weren't even born for the last time the Knicks won. 50 freaking 2 years ago. Let's get it done tomorrow in Boston, and let's move on, and let's get ready to what probably is going to be another playoff series between the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Before I go, I can't say enough about my baseball team. They pulled this game out again last night. I was in and out because I was watching the Knicks game, but tremendous come-from-behind win. Luis Angel Acuna, who I love, stealing a run for the Mets in this game. Soto actually got a big hit in the ninth inning after he was 0 for 12. What a shock. Pete Alonso driving in 2 more runs. I believe now he won the game with a sac fly in the bottom of the ninth. I believe Pete leads the National League with 37 RBIs. Peterson pitched well over 6 innings. For some reason, Barbizon was in to close the game, and he wound up blowing the save. Where is Diaz? Why? Let me ask you this. I got to ask, and I love Carlos Mendoza. So, Carlos, why was Diaz in the ninth inning yesterday in a non-save situation when the Mets had a 4-run lead in the game against the Cubs on Sunday? So because of that, you couldn't use him as a closer. He couldn't close last night? What is it? He can't close back-to-back games anymore? Is that the deal with Diaz? You're really getting the feeling that Mendoza is really babying Diaz for some reason. I don't understand what that's all about. I really don't. But I was shocked in one of the breaks in the Knicks game, when I bounced over to the Mets and saw Barbizon, who's been good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's been tremendous. When I saw him in the game as the closer, because you put these guys in as closers that aren't closers, and they generally don't get the job done. We saw what happened when he tried to close games in Washington with Ryan Stanek. How'd that work out? But anyway, Mets are 27-15. They play Pittsburgh again tonight. If you're a Met fan, you're delirious with this team right now. I guess Sanger's pitching tonight. I guess Sanger is on the mound tonight. 2 more games with the Pirates at home, and then Thursday they're off, and then the big series in the Bronx against the Yankees. So get ready for that. I tell you, it's a great right now. It's a great sports weekend. You got the Knicks doing what they're doing against Boston. You got the Mets on an absolutely unconscious run. The Yankees beat up the Mariners last night, 11-5 in Seattle. You got Mets, Yankees this weekend, and you got the second major in golf, the PGA, and in Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm looking forward to that too. Should be great. All the big names. You got all the live guys playing as well. We'll see DeChambeau. We'll see Koepka. We'll see Mickelson. We'll see all those guys. Rahm, Patrick Reed, all those guys in the PGA. My pick, by the way, for the PGA, not that anybody cares, I'm going to give you 3 names for the PGA. I'm going to give you DeChambeau. I know I'm not exactly going out on a limb. I'm going to give you DeChambeau. I'm going to give you Scotty Scheffler. And remember this, too. Jordan Spieth. I know he's not the guy he was a few years ago. But remember, Jordan Spieth needs only to win the PGA to join the pantheon that Rory McIlroy just joined of golfers to win the Grand Slam. He could become the next guy to do it if he wins the PGA. He's won the other 3 majors. So I'll be rooting for Jordan Spieth as well. Everybody, have a great rest of your week, right? Enjoy it. I'll be back again on Friday. And again, the reason I did this on Tuesday, because it made more sense to be on after the Knicks game than before the Knicks game. So we'll see. Get ready for Wednesday night, whether Tatum plays or not. Get ready for the Celtics again to get every freaking call there is. The Knicks are going to have to overcome the Celtics and the officiating again. So get ready for that. Get ready for Karl Anthony Towns getting hammered every time he goes to the basket and no call. Get ready for that. All right? Be pumped up. How about that one play, too, that they actually reviewed last night where Josh Hart got run over, right? I forget who it was that ran him. Maybe it was Tatum. Ran him over, and they called a blocking foul on him. Thibodeau actually challenged it and still lost the challenge. Forget about it. The officiating is, you know what's going on. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Mets. God bless America. And of course, everybody, all the love. Talk to you Friday.